Escobar's fate, a question of justice in Texas. The execution chamber looms large in the American justice system, but what happens when the evidence that put someone there is called into question? Today, we dissect the case of Areli Escobar, a Texas death row inmate, and explore the troubling questions surrounding his conviction. Give a like and subscribe, leave a comment. Areli Escobar was convicted in 2009 for the brutal murder of Bianca Maldonado. The crime shocked the Austin community. Escobar was subsequently sentenced to death for this heinous act. The details of the crime are undeniably disturbing. Bianca Maldonado, a 17-year-old high school student, was fatally stabbed and sexually assaulted. Tragically, Escobar and Maldonado resided in the same apartment complex, adding another layer of horror to the case. The prosecution's case against Escobar hinged significantly on DNA evidence. This evidence was presented as irrefutable proof of his guilt. The DNA analysis was conducted by the Austin Police Department's lab. However, a subsequent audit revealed serious problems within the Austin Police Department's DNA lab. These findings cast a dark shadow over the reliability of the DNA evidence used in Escobar's trial. The integrity of the entire process was called into question. A lower court judge, after reviewing the case, concluded that Escobar's trial was fundamentally unfair. The judge specifically cited the use of unreliable DNA evidence as a critical flaw. This, the judge argued, violated the very principles of justice. Despite the lower court's concerns, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals initially rejected Escobar's appeals. This decision seemed to disregard the serious questions raised about the DNA evidence. The legal battle appeared to be at a dead end. However, the Supreme Court intervened, ordering the Texas court to reconsider the case. This intervention offered a glimmer of hope for Escobar. It suggested that the highest court recognized the potential for injustice. Disappointingly, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals once again ruled against Escobar. They seemingly doubled down on their initial decision. This raised serious questions about the court's willingness to address the concerns about the DNA evidence. Ultimately, the Supreme Court denied Escobar's appeal. This final decision effectively upheld his murder conviction and death sentence. The legal avenues for Escobar appeared to be exhausted. A significant shift occurred within the Travis County Prosecutor's office. They no longer defended Escobar's conviction. This change in stance was driven by the election of a new district attorney, Jose Garza. Garza campaigned on a platform of police accountability and criminal justice reform. His election signaled a potential shift in how the office approached cases involving questionable evidence. This change offered a new perspective on Escobar's case. The case of Richard Glossip offers a stark contrast to Escobar's situation. Glossip's murder conviction was recently overturned by the Supreme Court. This decision highlights the complexities and inconsistencies within the justice system. The Oklahoma Attorney General even supported overturning Glossip's conviction. This unusual move underscored the doubts surrounding the fairness of Glossip's trial. New evidence had emerged suggesting Glossip's innocence. The reason for overturning Glossip's conviction centered on prosecutorial misconduct. Prosecutors allowed a key witness to provide false testimony. This blatant violation of Glossip's rights led to the overturning of his conviction. The Supreme Court's differing decisions in the Escobar and Glossip cases are perplexing. The court's silence on the reasoning behind these contrasting outcomes is deeply troubling. It leaves many questioning the consistency of justice. One key difference between the cases is that Escobar is not facing imminent execution. This provides a small window for further legal challenges. In Glossip's case, the Oklahoma Attorney General actively supported overturning the conviction, a crucial factor absent in Escobar's case. The DNA evidence in Escobar's case deserves a more critical examination. The audit of the Austin Police Department's lab revealed significant deficiencies. These deficiencies directly impact the reliability of the DNA analysis. The audit uncovered issues with contamination, quality control, and staff training. These problems raise serious doubts about the accuracy of the DNA results. The potential for error in the analysis cannot be ignored. Defense attorneys argued that the DNA evidence was the cornerstone of the prosecution's case. Without it, they claimed, the prosecution's case would have crumbled. This highlights the critical importance of the DNA evidence in securing Escobar's conviction. The fact that the lower court judge recognized the unreliability of the DNA evidence is significant. This acknowledgement suggests that there was a legitimate basis for questioning the conviction. The judge's concerns should not have been dismissed so easily. The Supreme Court's decision to deny Escobar's appeal is a source of considerable debate. Some argue that the court missed an opportunity to address serious concerns about the integrity of the justice system. The decision appears inconsistent with other rulings. Critics argue that the court should have at least provided a clear explanation for its decision. The lack of transparency fuels suspicion and distrust in the legal system. The court's silence is deafening. The decision sends a chilling message about the value of due process and the right to a fair trial. It suggests that even when serious questions are raised about the evidence, the courts may be reluctant to intervene. This is a dangerous precedent. The Supreme Court's decision raises fundamental questions about the role of the court in safeguarding individual rights. Is the court truly committed to ensuring that justice is served, even when it means overturning a conviction? The Escobar case suggests otherwise. The Escobar case also raises broader questions about the death penalty itself. Is it a just and effective form of punishment? Or is it a cruel and unusual punishment that is disproportionately applied to marginalized communities? The debate continues. The risk of executing an innocent person is inherent in the death penalty system. The Escobar case highlights this risk. Even if Escobar is guilty, the questions surrounding the evidence should give pause to anyone who supports capital punishment. The death penalty is irreversible. Once an execution is carried out, there is no turning back. This finality demands the highest level of certainty in the guilt of the accused. The Escobar case falls far short of this standard. The death penalty is also a costly and inefficient form of punishment. It requires extensive legal proceedings and appeals, often stretching on for years. The resources spent on death penalty cases could be better used to address the root causes of crime. Despite the Supreme Court's decision, the fight for justice for Ramiro Escobar is not over. There are still avenues for legal challenges and advocacy. The pursuit of truth and fairness must continue. One potential avenue is to seek clemency from the Texas governor. Clemency is an act of mercy that can commute a death sentence to life in prison. This would provide Escobar with a chance to live out his days behind bars while avoiding the ultimate punishment. Another avenue is to continue to raise awareness about the flaws in the DNA evidence and the unfairness of Escobar's trial. Public pressure can influence the decisions of elected officials and the courts. The power of collective action should not be underestimated. It is also important to support organizations that are working to reform the criminal justice system. These organizations are fighting to ensure that everyone has access to a fair trial and that the rights of the accused are protected. Their work is essential to creating a more just society. The Escobar case serves as a stark reminder of the imperfections of the justice system. It is a call to action to demand greater accountability and transparency from our courts and law enforcement agencies. The pursuit of justice is a never-ending process. The case of Ramiro Escobar is a chilling example of how flawed evidence and a relentless pursuit of conviction can overshadow the principles of justice. The Supreme Court's refusal to intervene, despite serious questions about the DNA evidence, leaves a stain on the American legal system. We cannot stand idly by while the possibility of executing an innocent man looms. Take action. Now, contact your Texas state representatives and demand a review of Ramiro Escobar's case. Support organizations like the Innocence Project that fight for justice and reform the criminal justice system. Share this video to raise awareness and spark a national conversation about the reliability of forensic evidence and the fairness of the death penalty. Only through collective action can we ensure that justice prevails and prevent future tragedies like the potential execution of Ramiro Escobar.